Good evening, everyone. Thank you for watching. So I've got an update for you guys on this major severe weather event for the parts of the southeast, the south central, and maybe the mid Atlantic. So I know I haven't uploaded in a while, guys. Sorry about that. Man, school has been very hard to get back to after a very nice and calm spring break. So I hope all of you kind of enjoyed your first weeks of spring. So we're pretty much in full swing now with the severe weather events. The tornado season is officially underway. I think it started, like scientific tornado season that pretty much started in the beginning of March. But yeah, this is going to continue through April and then into May, June, and then it'll slowly uh, but not, it will slowly start diminishing probably around late July. But we're definitely far away from that. And even when that happens, you're still going to have a very high threat for tornadoes all across the summer and spring season. So, yeah, so we have a pretty good story to talk about right now today. So, as you can see, what we've got going on is we have two storm systems that we're going to be seeing back to back storm systems. We've got a little low pressure system here that's trying to get going. This one is actually trying to fuse with this one up here. That's going to ride this little dip in the jet stream and then start heading up the coast. That's going to bring a drenching rainfall for the southeast and the northeast. I know the southeast, you guys just got over a this rainstorm that is now heading into the mid Atlantic and the Northeast. That brought a few inches of rain and some scattered damaging wind gusts, damaging thunderstorms and tornadoes. So we saw that yesterday. And then this storm is actually going to be heading into Canada. That's going to give some snow to, upstate Canada, but we don't have to talk about that today. And then you just have this line of storms that has been moving across central Texas. I really want to keep an eye on south central Texas tonight because there is a squall line right here showing up on the radar. So that damaging wind threat is really going to rise in the next few hours. So I really urge you guys to make sure your phones and whatever technology you have is on alert for severe weather alerts that could be issued from the National Weather Service tonight. But regardless, just stay safe because there definitely will be some flash flooding, localized flash flooding, and power outages possible with these storms. But I mean, we're gonna break all this down, and then you've also got some showers, just not too heavy, but some rain showers, and steady rain that's been falling across the north central, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna now move on to your alerts, and as you can see, it's pretty busy in the southern U.S. But the western U.S. isn't too bad. You do have some. I believe you have. You don't have too much happening right now. You've got some rain showers that have been bringing some more, not needed rain. I guess if you want to put it that way. So, from what we saw in the beginning of spring and late winter, what we saw was that ridge in the southeast. Now that brought scorching hot temperatures to the eastern half of the U.S. just for the start of just for the start of spring. So once spring started rolling in, that's when this cold front really, or not cold front, I should say, this cold air mass really decided to get going, and now it's finally made that move where things have been getting a little more even and back to normal. So now what you're seeing is a pattern flip. Now you're seeing widespread below average temperatures in the Northeast, and more dry conditions, even though it's been raining a lot today, and then a lot more wet conditions here in the Southeast. And also, it's going to stay a little on the warm side for you guys in the South and just the you know entire southern U.S. But I really want to check out how what we saw. If you looked at my updates from earlier this spring and then late winter, you'd see that I'd be always showing you guys the temperature outlook for like the northeast and the southeast. And I mean, just a few weeks ago, you had every day was in the 70s, the 80s. It was very, very hot and warm. So it's just something I'm pretty curious to look at, just back at how the temperature pattern was so much different than what it is now. And you've got a lot of these flood alerts that go out for Nevada, parts of Utah, and then parts of Western California. These are just from the rain that has just been consistently moving across the western states. And basically, what the usual pattern is for storms is you get a few low pressure systems that spin off the coast of California. They move onshore very slowly, so they're kind of rain drenchers, and then they ride the jet stream. And once they pass through the southeastern and central U.S., you do see an elevated severe storm threat risk. So that's what we've been seeing today and just in the past few weeks. So that's going to bring an elevated severe storm threat for the central U.S. mainly because you have the cold air mass pushing the storm off to the east and this warm air mass that is still trying to get back into the western U.S. So it's very interesting to kind of just take a look at that. But let's get back to the update and back to the alerts. So other than that, what you do have, you got some red flag warnings. You got very high fire danger risks today for southern New Mexico, southern Arizona, and then you've got severe thunderstorm warnings for parts of so a few counties in southern and southeastern, and then not quite south central Texas, but mainly southeastern Texas. Tornado watch. Look at this tornado watch. Let me click in this area. I don't know what city this would. This goes for Dallas and Fort Worth. But what they're showing here is right now they're kind of on the edge of a tornado watch, and also severe thunderstorm warnings, and they're just kind of in that area around those counties under those warnings. So one thing here that is very interesting that some people don't quite understand is severe weather terminology. So what we call a watch is basically where the National Weather Service, when they issue a watch for any type of weather, if it's severe weather, tropical storm-like weather, so meaning hurricanes, tropical storms, stuff like that, floods, and winter storms and everything. This means be prepared. So in this case, you've got severe thunderstorms possible. So severe thunderstorms are possible now or in the near future. So that is a severe thunderstorm watch. So this means conditions are favorable for severe weather. Stay tuned to forecast updates. So kind of like this, and know where to take shelter. So you obviously, when your town or city is under a severe thunderstorm watch or whatever the case may be, you always want to make sure that you have the easiest and the way you're going to stay safe if that weather happens. But obviously, a watch does not mean it's definitely going to happen. A watch just means conditions are favorable for that. And also, you should definitely be ready to take action if a warning is issued. So, once you hear that warning, that the like I like to call it the NOAA warning, the NOAA radio warning. So basically, it has a little buzzing sound, and it's really loud. So if you have one of those NOAA weather radios, which I completely recommend, I have one for my own. They're an amazing tool. Actually, comes with a flashlight. You've got very clear and precise sound with that. And it shows you can listen to basically the weather forecast for the next 3 days, and the weekend for if it's the end of the week for your city, town, or just area. And whenever a severe thunderstorm warning or just any weather warning is issued, it will make a buzzing noise and it will go off and it will be very loud. And so that's just to make sure that whoever is the owner of that radio knows that they have to make sure that they're aware that they have to be safe right that second. But anyways, let's move on to the warning. So now a warning is take action now. So a severe thunderstorm warning, obviously you probably know the drill. If you've probably been through a severe thunderstorm warning in your life, no matter where you've been, but where you are. But a severe thunderstorm warning, when that's issued, those last for they can last for 15 minutes to up to 45 to maybe an hour. So they could be very short, they could be very brief, but they could also be very long. So severe thunderstorms are occurring or imminent. So that is for your area. So if a certain area is under a severe thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorms in that area are occurring or imminent. So severe weather is imminent or is occurring at your location, what I just said. Take shelter immediately. You have to make sure that you are in a safe spot when a severe thunderstorm warning is issued. So, like all severe thunderstorm warnings say, the description says stay away from flying glass, make sure you are away from windows. That is mostly for tornadoes, but just make sure because you have three factors that can take the windows out of your home, and there are three factors that are primary factors of not only breaking windows but also of severe weather. So one, you've got tornadoes. Obviously, tornadoes have wind speeds that can destroy houses. So, that's we can get that out of the way. But two, damaging wind gusts. I know that seems kind of crazy what I just said, but wind gusts can actually get so strong to the point where it actually breaks the windows. So, one thing that's commonly mistaken in surveying tornado damage is seeing broken glass. So when the National Weather Service is surveying a certain area or town that is hit by that they think was hit by a tornado, and they see broken glass, they'd probably think that shows that the tornado had moved through the area. But also, damaging wind gusts can reach speeds. Damaging wind gusts over 100 miles an hour is definitely possible in severe thunderstorm warnings. It's not likely. It's definitely not likely, but with a strong enough storm, that can definitely happen. And when you have a wind gust that's pretty much over 85 to 90 miles an hour, you know, glass will break, and that's very hard to deal with, especially if you're not in your safe spot. Then you also have hail. I know hail. You guys probably have been through one or two significant hailstorms, but hail, the size of tennis balls can completely obliterate your property, and that includes windows, cars, any furniture outside. Everything's gonna have dents in it, and that's going to also be, if you have wind driven hail, that's also going to be very dangerous, because wind driven hail, which we kind of had a few days ago, it was like Monday or Tuesday, we did have a little wind driven hail event in the south central US. And hail can, in that case, hail can reach up to the size of softballs, and softballs are like, they're big. They're like the size of my speaker here. So if I show you my speaker, imagine this circle here being a hailstone. Imagine this coming at you at, like, I don't know, 50, not I mean more than 50. Like, this is coming from the sky. So this is a few, 1,000 feet in the air. So this is coming at hundreds of miles an hour, crashing down onto your window. I mean, that is certainly going to break. But just to go over safety, I just want to make sure that everyone here is aware that there is a tornado watch that's out in effect right now, and that kind of just shows that severe weather is possible to maybe likely, and then localized damaging wind gusts are also possible with that. So we're now going to be moving on to the southeast. We're just going to be looking at the NAM 3KM model. Basically, what this is just this is just a typical model run you have that goes at 60 hours, just like the FV3 high resolution model and the rest of the NAM models. So the NAM 3KM model shows a lot more detail within these storms. So the NAM 32KM model, that looks just like the GFS, just a little bit more radar type is what I like to call it. And then you also have the 12KM But the 3 km is really nice because it looks almost exactly like how a weather radar would. But let's get into this outlook for the weekend for the southeast. So, as you can see, this was 3 p.m. today, and you've got showers and thunderstorms that have been moving across the coastline of North Carolina. Now, these storms just off the coast here on this little seaboard, these are actually very strong, severe thunderstorms. There was actually a brief severe thunderstorm warning in one of these counties off the coast of North Carolina, and it was because of this storm that rolled through. There have been reports of some minor flooding, so coastal flooding was definitely possible. Late this afternoon, but then those have moved up to sea and they will diminish in the overnight hours. And then you get another low pressure system here. This is very weird. You don't really see much action happening here in North Carolina. You've got one system off to the west that's, starting to form, and it's going to come through in the next day or two. And then you've got your storm that's moving out today, but that's already in the northeast, so you don't really see any chance of any low pressure system forming in the southeast right at this time frame, which is 9 p.m. So this is 23 minutes ago. Now, what you're going to be seeing is if a low pressure like this is going to form, that means that NAM is trying to tell us that there's going to be another surge of some possible thunderstorms. But really, these storms won't be too bad. Just like I was saying earlier, it just looks like that the NAM is showing us that there is another low pressure system that's going to form very briefly for maybe 30 minutes or so, and this is just going to bring another surge of possible severe weather in North Carolina. Otherwise, all the thunderstorms are off to the north and east, and then basically the southeast just awaits for this next system. So this is storm system number one. We're going to call this storm system number one off to the north, then storm system number two, which is going to be impacting once we get into the morning hours of tomorrow. That is actually right now taking shape in central Texas. That's already, like we were seeing in the beginning of the update, giving off some high tornado threats, damaging wind gusts, and some large hail. But you can see that this system, once it enters the southeast, it kind of splits in half. You've got one half here just off the southern coast of Texas, and then you've got this northern half of northeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and then parts of Arkansas. Now, this is actually going to strengthen. I think the main line of this is going to be the northern line. You know why? Because this, southern line here, this is actually going to pretty much take its own path, and it's going to have to rely on what's happening here. Because let's say this, all this rainfall and these thunderstorms, these abruptly diminish once we get into the afternoon hours of tomorrow. That means that it's all left and up to this one last low pressure system here that hasn't spent too much time in warm waters. And look how small it would be if we didn't have this part of the storm. So, the real point where we're going to have to see if this storm is going to take shape how it's forecasted to and expected to, it's really around 3 p.m. tomorrow. So late afternoon to early evening hours of tomorrow, we are going to see this low pressure system start, right here in the southeast part of the storm, and it's going to take a jump up to the northern part of the storm, and it's going to try and connect the two storms. Now, that will take a few hours, and then once we probably get into the evening into the night hours, this storm it takes a lot of energy to kind of connect two storm systems, and it's gonna kind of detach a few thunderstorms from the system, and those are going to fly off to the east. So that's going to just bring more rain and more thunderstorms to the Carolinas. But that leaves some more time and some more room for this storm to grow, and then this drops way under 1,000 millibars, and here you go. You've got another severe weather event that's going to be underway tomorrow afternoon. Well, actually, I should say tomorrow night, late tomorrow night. And you've got drenching thunderstorms, downpours. This is very, you've got damaging wind gusts. And I don't think I made a tab for this. We might do it on the fly later. But there is a very, very large risk for damaging wind gusts across the northern North Carolina. I mean, those winds are going to be whipping tomorrow night. I gotta tell you, you guys better stay safe because I, I mean, I'd say if you're on this line here, off the coast of North Carolina, you guys better be sleeping in the lower level of your house. I really urge you guys to sleep on the lower level of your house because the winds are going to be strong enough to knock down some trees, and I don't want any trees that could potentially be crashing through uh, you know, your roof. I'm obviously not. I don't want to get you guys. We're all worried that there's going to be a tree crashing through your roof tomorrow night. That's very unlikely. I'm just saying I really don't want it to happen to one of you guys. But I'm saying this because it's possible because the wind gusts are going to be strong enough. There is going to be a lower level jet that's going to be shooting across one way, which is going to be pushing the storm. This is the main jet, and this is going to be bringing very damaging wind gusts. So I'm going to kind of draw it here. So you can see here, this is the arrow and the path of it, and it goes right through that exact area of thunderstorms that you see here. So this whole line, anyone in this line is in the way of this lower level jet, and this is going to bring some unsettledness in the atmosphere, which also not only brings a very elevated damaging wind threat, but also a threat for severe thunderstorms. But on top of that, you have another. This one is a little bit higher in the atmosphere. This is a upper level jet that's going to be coming in from the south, and that also intersects with this lower level jet, which is going to be pushing northward, and the danger zone and the pinpointed area is the border of North Carolina and Virginia. So anyone in this square, I'll erase everything that I have here, and I'll draw the square again. What we were left over with one boxed in area that was dead in the middle of the two, wind jet streams. It's this area here of northern North Carolina and southern Virginia. I feel like you guys on the coastline, on the immediate coast, the winds are going to be whipping, and you're going to have wind gusts that are going to be pushing from not only the southeast northward, but also from the southwest northward, and those wind gusts are going to be pushing at wind speeds that could get up to 50 miles an hour, maybe even higher. So I really think that it's definitely the storm is worthy enough to that we're going to look at on the fly what we have in store for us in terms of how strong the wind gusts are going to be. But then these storms are still going to be raging once we get into the very early morning hours of Sunday. But otherwise, for the deep southeast, like Arkansas, uh, eastern Texas, parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, your Sunday should be pretty much clear. It should be pretty warm on Sunday. Maybe some leftover scattered showers and thunderstorms across the more farther north areas of the southeast. But otherwise, everyone should be relatively dry. And I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday and get to mass. Don't forget that, you guys. You should definitely try your best to get to mass on Sunday. But you may have some leftover snow showers for the Appalachian Mountains. This goes through West Virginia, maybe parts of the mountain regions of Virginia, but otherwise, your Sunday should be pretty nice. I think the main day for severe weather and thunderstorms, well, that's going to be tomorrow, mainly late tomorrow night. So I don't want the entire southeast. If a lot of you guys here watching this video are living in the southeast, I don't want all of you to be freaking out because you're in the way of this thing. I'm gonna tell you the farther west areas of the southeast, you guys are getting a break from the severe weather. This one is going to miss you by inches. I think if the dynamics lined up a little bit more, better, I think the storm would have definitely packed a punch for you guys in the deep southeast. But right now, it's all eyes on the coastal region. So this area I'm circling here in red, this area is the danger zone. This area here, you guys should be pretty safe, but regardless of whatever happens, I just want to make sure the entire southeast is on alert for severe thunderstorms tomorrow, no matter what happens, even if it looks like it's almost impossible for a severe thunderstorm to roll through your neighborhood. I want to make sure you guys are ready for whatever weather is about to strike. So, yeah, so pretty much otherwise, you should have a pretty nice weekend, but only for Sunday because obviously tomorrow is going to be very rainy. And then I don't know if it's just me, but I think a lot of kids out in the U.S. have school off on Monday, so hopefully you guys can enjoy some company with your kids if you have some. But otherwise, I think that we pretty much covered everything for the forecast for the weekend. And we're now going to be looking at the SPC for today. So this was issued. Looks like this was updated at 3 o'clock. I don't know. Can't really. I don't know what this says, but I think that's 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock today. So basically, what you've got going on right now is you've got this. I think this. I don't know. Wait, hold on one second, guys. I think we messed up something here. Yeah. So the SPC for today. I don't know if this was downgraded. But okay, sorry guys. So I actually lost. Um, you know, I lost track of what day we're looking at. So, because it's a little late here at night, the SPC actually for tomorrow was just issued. So that means that now the day one SPC now counts for tomorrow. So by the time you're watching this video, this is probably what you're gonna be waking up to for the latest SPC, but what you've got going on is you got for tomorrow a slight risk for severe weather. That's for southern Texas. So that also shows you that this storm is not quite going to make it to the southeast until the very late hours of tomorrow. So they're still going to be in this area, in this yellow area, once we get into the afternoon hours of tomorrow. Tornado threat, it's very low. It's only a 2% risk. I wouldn't worry about any tornadoes tomorrow. Wind threat, you're up to a 15% risk, relatively high. It's not, it's not the end of the world. It's not anything that you guys have never seen, but there is definitely a elevated risk for damaging wind gusts. And then hail, you do have a hatched risk. So a hatched risk meaning that hail is more significant in a specific area, which is this area in the dash marks here. And some major cities in that are Laredo, Texas, and Rio Grande, Texas, Rio Grande City, Texas. But otherwise, just the surrounding areas, you guys are under a 15% risk for damaging hail. And that is diameter of, a 10%. Hatched area has a 10% or greater probability of 2-inch diameter hail or larger within 25 miles of a point. And then we're going to be looking at the day 2 risk. So this is really for, the southeast. So I know you're thinking that, I must be crazy for saying that, severe weather I think is very likely for the coastal regions of the southeast tomorrow. We still have another day to look at the final dynamics and the final, kind of just looks at basically what the model runs are going to be saying for this last, this round number 2 storm. But I really do think my gut feeling is telling me that tomorrow morning we're going to wake up to an update in the SPC, and we're going to see this marginal risk shoot up north. So that's going to probably expand. I'll put it in blue so you guys can see it pretty well. It's probably going to expand kind of, I think, like this. So I think anyone in this green risk already, or sorry, marginal risk I should say already, and then also in this little circle or shape I've drawn here in the blue. I think you guys will be under a marginal risk for tomorrow, and then well issued tomorrow, and then for Sunday, or actually for tomorrow. Yes, for tomorrow. I keep losing track of this, but you can see here that we're definitely going to have severe weather possible. This slight risk, then once this marginal risk gets expanded northward, the slight risk is now going to take a jump northward, and that's probably going to be shooting into probably this region here. So maybe up to the border of North Carolina and Virginia. So that's basically the picture that we're expecting to see. So I think you'd kind of see something like this. So the slight risk is going to be in this area of red here. So I'll put it in. So this would probably be where the slight risk is going to be, and then you're going to have the marginal risk in this blue, and then maybe, quite possibly, we could have an enhanced risk show up here. I think it's definitely possible, but if we were to have an enhanced risk, it's like my gut feeling has been telling me all day after looking at the latest model runs for this system that there's going to be a severe weather event along the border of North Carolina and Virginia. So, if you didn't get anything what I just said, you can rewind the video and take a look back and try and get a better understanding of what I was talking about here. But just to show you guys that I really think that there's going to be some major changes in the forecast for the system from the SPC and then just from the National Weather Service in general. And then for Sunday, I believe this would be Sunday, the severe weather threat moves off to the northeast. You do actually already have, um, let me see. So I think this would be Sunday. So you already do have a marginal risk for that same area of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. So maybe you're thinking that the transition from Saturday into Sunday might actually bring a higher severe weather threat from what we're going to be seeing throughout the just overnight hours of tomorrow. So very interesting to see what changes we're going to see in the forecast for this. But for that marginal risk, you've got a population of just under 22.5 million people. So a very, very highly populated area here. I just want to put in the population, this little box here that we can look at. And there's some hotspots in the way of this. Obviously, Tampa, Fort Myers, and just these little spots of black here. This is, highly populated areas, and you can see all these major cities are dotted with a bunch of black dots, and roughly, like I said again, 22 million people are in the way of this. So, very just interesting to look at how many people are in the way of this. And then probabilistic, we're up to a 5% risk for severe weather, but we don't have as much information as we'll get tomorrow for the system. So I think that's going to wrap the SBC, but I just want to tell you guys one last time that I really think that we're going to see some major changes in the forecast for this. So really, if you're interested, if about what we're going to be seeing in the southeast, or if you're living in the southeast, definitely look at just the latest weather forecast for this storm. So we're now going to be moving on to, looks like this is the northeast, or actually this would be the southeast, and we're going to be looking at the total for your rainfall now. So rainfall, right off the bat, you can see that we have widespread, areas over an inch of rain. But I mean, these two storms are really going to pack a punch. It's going to be drenching downpours. So we're going to kind of go state by state here. We're going to start off in Arkansas. So I know I said you guys are going to get a break from the severe weather. Well, there's still going to be a lot of rain. That doesn't mean you're not going to get a lot of rain. So Arkansas may be close to the top leader for rainfall in the southeast, but you guys will definitely a lot of areas around the south central regions of the south of Arkansas. You guys will definitely see many areas with receiving over 2.5 inches of rain. Otherwise, the surrounding areas you guys could expect anywhere from half an inch to 2 inches of rain. But anybody in this purple here, that's between 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. Anyone in this red and yellowy orange, that is 2+ inches of rain. That is a very, very big rainstorm. And then if we go even farther north, you can see you'll get probably around half an inch to an inch of rain, and then anyone in the green should see about a quarter of an inch or two, or nothing to a quarter of an inch. So that's a lot of rain for Arkansas. So I think that's if we were to rank the states by how much rain they were going to get, I think Arkansas would really be up there, maybe third or fourth. Excuse me. But I mean, regardless, I just want to make sure you guys are aware that there's going to be a lot of rain and that you guys don't get caught by surprise. And then we go to Mississippi, and you can see here in Mississippi that we do see many rainfall totals over an inch, especially for the south central and southeastern central. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if you would consider that a region, but just that vicinity and area of Mississippi, you guys will definitely see widespread, inch and a half to 2 inches, 2+ inches of rain. But if I were to split the state of Arkansas, or sorry, the state of Mississippi in half, the eastern half would get way more rain than the western half. Because I mean, look at this. You got a way bigger area of an inch plus of rain than what you see here in the western half of the state. So very interesting to look at that. Louisiana, we're gonna skip you guys. I just want to briefly say anywhere from no rain to I guess an inch of rain is expected. The anybody that is curious to see what area of Louisiana is expected to possible to get over an inch of rain. Well, that's probably going to be this very very or northeasternly tip of Louisiana, and you can see here that some areas may get just briefly above an inch of rain. So, just watch out for that. But regardless, just stay safe out there. It's going to be a pretty wet day tonight, and then actually not tonight, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And then for Alabama, you guys will probably get the most rain out of all these states in the southeast. I mean, look at this. This is South Central Alabama, almost 4 inches of rain. That is crazy. That is definitely going to bring some highly concerning flood threats. 3.82 inches of rain here for this area of South Central uh, Alabama. So you guys in Alabama, just make sure you're ready for flooded streets out there. I urge you to try not to drive too much tomorrow, because there's going to be a lot of water on the streets, and it's going to take a few hours to drain all that water out. But if you see any clogged drains that are starting to make some very large puddles on the road, well, I would urge you guys not to take that road again if you're coming to work or back to work, or sorry, to work or back home. Just make sure that you guys are staying away from those flooded roadways and staying safe. So for the southeast tomorrow, you guys, I'm gonna tell you. Think in your head what I'm saying today. Turn around, don't drown. I don't want anybody to drown from this, but there is going to be a lot of rainfall, and this is serious. This is a very concerning flood event for the southeast. And you can see here for southern Georgia, you guys could even see 2.5 inches plus of rain for this area of southeastern central uh, Georgia, if you want to put it that way. But just the entire southern half of the state is you guys could expect from an inch and a half plus inches of rain, and then the northern half, it's pretty much the same story for you guys. It's just this little area, purple here, which is anywhere between an inch and 2 inches of rain. This one is actually split in half, so this little alleyway in the middle of it, this is a little sneaky area that's going to get from other, anywhere from a quarter of an inch to half an inch of rain, and then so on and so forth. But South Carolina, you guys will probably see pretty much the same amounts as Georgia. Although the northern half of the state is not nearly going to see as much rain as the southern half of the state. So the farther south you are in South Carolina, the more rain you're going to get. I'm just going to kind of run through that pretty quickly. And because we're taking a lot of time on this update, we're just going to be kind of breezing through this pretty quickly. So I'm going to be looking at the Northeast for this now. So the Northeast, you guys get impacted pretty hard by this. So we're starting out with your storm tonight. It's been raining pretty hard tonight. You can see we're getting into the morning hours tomorrow. You're going to wake up to some very heavy downpours that are going to be moving through the New Jersey area, New York City, and Long Island. So those three areas I just named, you guys will have some showers and thunderstorms getting into tomorrow. You can see you're getting into 8 p.m. Looks like this is 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Yeah, I think I'm right about that. Yeah, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. You're going to get a cluster of some very strong to possibly even severe thunderstorms that can move through New York City, Trenton, New Jersey, and the upstate regions of, or sorry, not upstate, the kind of farther north regions of Long Island. So you definitely want to watch out for that. So gusty winds tomorrow. Yeah, gusty winds for this first storm, which will be impacting tonight into tomorrow, and then also for that second storm. And that moves off to the farther areas of the Northeast. And then you get your second storm. This is the big hit. This is definitely going to be impacting a lot stronger. And you can see here, it's just a wild fest out here. You've got one huge line of thunderstorms that's going to be raging across the Northeast. This one is the main line of storms. This is bringing severe thunderstorms all the way, or no, I don't want to say severe thunderstorms, but very strong thunderstorms from all the way from upstate New York all the way down into parts of Virginia. And then you've got another secondary line here, a little frontal line here. This is stretching from the offshore regions of New Jersey. Then you've also got more areas of farther inland of New Jersey, and then southeastern PA. And then you got another area of upstate New York that's going to be on alert for severe thunderstorms tomorrow. And this all moves into the mid-Atlantic and the farther areas of the upstate. Sorry, oh my gosh, I keep saying upstate. The farther north regions of the Northeast, and this is just going to bring a widespread thunderstorm event, not severe thunderstorm event, but just thunderstorm event for the Northeast. Very strong thunderstorms will yet again move through New York City, Long Island, and then areas farther north like Boston, um, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and then PA. You guys in Pennsylvania, you guys are just gonna get hammered tomorrow. I think really tomorrow is, all right. Sorry, not tomorrow. Sunday is the big day for you guys. Tomorrow, Sunday is really going to be packing a punch, and then this gets you're getting into the the very early morning hours of Monday, and you're still getting drenching thunderstorms, downpours that are going to be moving through Boston. But the entire Northeast is just going to get hammered by thunderstorms. But we can't go any farther with the NAM 3KM model because this only goes out 60 hours. But anyways, it's just going to bring a lot of rainfall, very gusty winds, damaging wind gusts, widespread, and then flooding risks, flooding concerns. This is going to be a huge flood event, and then a madhouse for thunderstorms. So rainfall totals, we're going to briefly look at this. I'm actually not even going to be looking at the week ahead just because we have a very long update that we just looked at. But for the Northeast, these rainfall totals. I mean, look at this. You're ranging all the way from this is over 5 inches of rain. 5 inches of rain. This is incredible, guys. In my lifetime, I've just in my experience of tracking storms and everything, I have never seen any rainfall event in the Northeast bring so much rain. 5 inches of rain for upstate, I think this is upstate Vermont. Or is this upstate New Hampshire? I don't know. I keep getting these two states mixed up. I think this is upstate New Hampshire, but correct me if I'm wrong, please. But southern Maine too. I mean, look at this. This is 4+ inches of rain for this area. I beg you guys in this area not to travel tomorrow. You're going to have extreme rainfall amounts tomorrow. I mean, it is going to be, you're going to see floods all over the place in this area. This entire, splash of red here. Anyone in this area is going to have at least 2 inches of rain guaranteed. Anywhere in this red, that's 2+ inches of rain guaranteed. You got another area of over 4.5 inches of rain. I mean 5.01 inches of rain. That is insane, guys. I mean, this is dead central Pennsylvania. Like I said earlier when we looked at the NAM, central PA is going to get hit very hard tonight into tomorrow and then Sunday. So a lot of rain is going to fall. We're gonna move in. We're gonna move into New Jersey. You can see here all the way up and down the state. You're seeing, anywhere from an inch to 3 inches of rain for the entire state of New Jersey. Let's look at the New York City metro area. For you guys, you could see, rainfall totals ranging all the way from 2 inches to 2.5 inches of rain. Then for Long Island, you guys could see an inch to 2.5 inches of rain as well, especially in the northwestern half of Long Island. So if any of you are aware, are I don't know why I'm saying aware, but just uh, um, if you know any areas here of northwestern Long Island, you guys just make sure that you tell any people that are living up here that there's going to be coastal flooding. The Long Island Sound, the coastal, like the roadways that go just off the coast of Long Island Sound, like you so close that you're basically on the water and you can see it. Those roadways are going to be flooded. There's no doubt in my mind that those roadways are not those roadways are going to be flooded. And then upstate New York, it's just the same story everywhere. It's at least an inch for pretty much the entire Northeast. So if you're living in the Northeast from now to Monday, everyone is going to get at least an inch, unless you're in like the Ohio Valley or areas a lot further south, or if you're in extreme northern Maine. But anywhere else, you're pretty much just going to see the same story everywhere. It's an inch plus. So that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, like, share, comment, and subscribe if not subscribed to the channel. And we'll continue watching this very strong system. But, I hope you guys stay safe out there. And we'll see you guys in the next video. So we'll see you guys.